Get ready to uncover the spooky side of ancient Egypt. From eerie mummy tombs to creepy artifacts that'll give you chills, we're diving into the top 10 terrifying discoveries in Egypt that leave archaeologists speechless. Let's start with these mind-blowing Ushabti figurines, small yet super creepy statues made from wood or clay that were believed to come alive when their owners entered the afterlife. Imagine having a tiny but loyal servant for eternity. To ensure they got the job done, ancient Egyptians carved powerful spells from the Book of the Dead right onto these little guys. But what happens if something goes wrong? Buckle up, folks. These ancient Egyptian discoveries will take you on a spine-tingling adventure. First off, let's talk about these seriously unsettling Ushabti dolls. Tiny terrorizers with an eerie message, "Here I am," carved into their wooden or clay bodies. This warning basically says, hey, if you need any help in the afterlife, don't look for anyone else, just call on me. Talk about creepy. Now, imagine stumbling upon a massive underground tomb that's like something out of a horror movie. Welcome to KV5 in the Valley of Kings. This hidden giant was discovered way back in 1995 and still holds secrets within its walls. With at least 121 rooms, corridors, and countless chambers, it's terrifying to think about how many potential resting places for ancient Egyptians are waiting to be uncovered. The fact that we don't even know the full extent of this underground labyrinth, or just how many skeletons might be hidden inside, only adds to the fear factor. Get ready for more mind-blowing moments from ancient Egypt's fascinating, yet chilling, world. Did you know that Egyptians didn't just preserve human bodies, they also took their beloved pets and farm animals to the afterlife? Yes, you read that right, mummified cats, baboons, birds, and even cuts of meat were all part of this bizarre preservation ritual. And here's the creepy part, animal mummies became so in demand that Egyptian priests started breeding them just for burial. It was like a dark market where customers could buy embalmed animals to be laid to rest with their deceased loved ones. The thought of ancient Egyptians going about their daily lives, maybe even stopping by the mummy supermarket on their way home from work, is just plain spooky. Let's dive into one of the most enduring legends surrounding ancient Egypt, the Curse of the Pharaohs. When King Tut's tomb was finally uncovered, a chilling rumor began spreading like wildfire. Anyone who disturbed the king's final rest would suffer a gruesome fate and meet an untimely demise. One of the expedition leaders fell ill and sadly passed away from blood poisoning just 2 months later. Sounds pretty spooky, right? But here's the twist. Despite the ominous warning, everyone else involved in the excavation lived long and happy lives afterwards, debunking the curse theory as mere coincidence. Or did it? While there's no concrete evidence to back up ancient Egyptian curses, we can't deny that the mystery still sends shivers down our spines. You won't believe what scientists have uncovered in ancient Egyptian tombs. Literal warnings carved into the walls, daring would-be grave robbers to try their luck. Some even threaten dire consequences if a single pebble is removed from within, making you wonder who came up with these edgy tombstone designs. But behind these ominous messages lies a fascinating fact. The Egyptians believed that disturbing the dead could seriously mess with your afterlife plans. They thought it would mess up your journey to the next world, and let's be real, nobody wants that. The most spine-tingling curse yet. It's found in the tomb of Angmahor, where he unleashes a chilling warning. If you dare to disturb his final rest, you'll be haunted by malevolent spirits for all eternity. Now that's what we call a ghostly guarantee. Phew, so it seems Angmahor's curse didn't come true. Or maybe it just took some time to kick in. But enough about ghosts for now. Let's dive into the wild world of ancient Egyptian animal worship. They built temples dedicated to their many animal gods, and, believe it or not, these animals were often housed inside these temples and cared for by priests. Talk about a unique work environment. Can you imagine working at a cat god temple? Sounds pretty perfect, right? But things took a dark turn when explorers stumbled upon temples of Sebek, the crocodile god. This fearsome deity had the head of a crocodile on top of a human body. No wonder it was worshipped by the ancient Egyptians. The worst part, priests were tasked with taking care of dozens of deadly crocodiles inside these temples. Now that's what I call a hysterical job requirement. You won't believe how these crocodile gods were treated. They'd be loaded up with bling like they were ancient Egyptian celebrities. A Greek historian even spilled the beans that priests would deck them out in jewelry, giving them the royal treatment. But it gets weirder still. When one of these fierce reptiles kicked the bucket inside the temple, priests had to give it a mummy makeover. Talk about taking loyalty to a whole new level. Among all the animals Egyptian gods came in, crocodiles have got to be the most spine-tingling. Now, being a pharaoh's personal servant must have been pretty sweet. No back-breaking labor for you, free food and accommodations at the palace. A life was good, right? But here's the chilling part. When your pharaoh boss met his maker, you were in for a shock that would make even the bravest historian shudder. In ancient Egypt between 3500 and 2900 BCE, pharaohs took their staff meetings to the afterlife. When a ruler bit the dust, they'd take their servants with them to the tomb, making it a one-way ticket for anyone serving at the time of death. Talk about job security, or lack thereof. Can you imagine having that as part of your employment contract? Priests were totally grossed out when they found out one king was buried with an entourage of 300 servants. Yikes. So, being a pharaoh's aide was basically a high-risk profession. On the other hand, let's talk about the ultimate goth job: ancient Egyptian professional mourners. Imagine rocking up to a funeral and seeing some wild woman totally losing it over the casket, wailing at the top of her lungs and sobbing uncontrollably. This wasn't just drama for show. In Egypt, this was a real job and people did it all the time. Meet the ancient Egyptian drama queens, or rather, mourners. These ladies weren't shy about putting on a show at funerals, and they didn't care if they knew the deceased or not. Paintings from back in the day show them going wild, wailing, and sobbing uncontrollably whenever they came near a casket. The more dramatic, the better. It was all part of their job. But here's the kicker: this isn't just an ancient phenomenon. Fast forward to today, and we've got Hu Qinglian, a renowned professional mourner from China who makes a living by turning up the volume at funerals. According to her, life begins with a bang, so why not go out with one too? She's all about making those final farewells spectacular. Talk about a dramatic exit. Get ready to dive into the wild world of ancient Egypt's intense magic and witchcraft. It was a huge part of their society, and trust us, it gets crazy. From blessing precious jewels and statues to unleashing curses that would bring death and disease upon their enemies, Egyptians believed in using magic for just about everything. But what really blew an Egyptologist's mind is how violent some of those rituals actually were. Talk about a dark side. Priests were right in the thick of it all, wielding spells and performing eerie magic rituals to heal the sick, and even worshipping Heka, the god of medicine, who was all about that magical life. But buckle up, folks, because things are about to get seriously spine-tingling. Ancient Egyptian magic has a side that's absolutely terrifying. Buckle up, because ancient Egypt's dark secrets are about to blow your mind. Imagine if Harry Potter was set in this era. It wouldn't be a bedtime story for kids anymore. We're talking cursed knives used in human sacrifices, forbidden spell books packed with deadly curses, and ivory wands that would make even the most seasoned wizard shudder. But wait, things get even more intense when we dive into their embalming practices. You might already think they're pretty spooky, but trust us, it gets nightmarish. First, embalmers remove the brain using a gruesome iron tool to literally suck it out through the nostrils. And that's just the beginning. They'd then slice open the body and take out all major organs, leaving nothing behind. It's a process that'll make you question what exactly preserving life really means. But here's where things take an even darker turn. Those organs weren't just tossed aside, they were carefully placed in special jars that would join their owner on the eternal journey, buried right alongside them. The mummification process itself was a grueling 70 days long, with dozens of bodies undergoing this intricate transformation at once. Picture walking into the embalmer's workshop. It'd be like stepping into a surreal graveyard where half-dried corpses lay exposed, all while being worked on by professionals who had to develop some serious steel in their stomachs. And can you imagine the stench? It's enough to make even the most seasoned adventurer cringe. But let's move on to an even more ominous find: the Black Tomb, where a 500-pound enigmatic black sarcophagus was unearthed by brave archaeologists in 2018. Let's dive into the eerie tale of the Black Tomb, discovered in Alexandria after a 2,000-year slumber. The buzz was that Alexander the Great might finally have been found, but as it turned out, this wasn't the legendary warrior king at all. Instead, they stumbled upon 3 skeletons and a vat of rancid red and brown gunk that would make even the most seasoned archaeologist run for cover. Some folks were convinced this place was cursed, and their fears almost came true when those brave explorers first lifted the lid. It let out a stench so overwhelming that it sent them running. The culprit behind this pungent punch to the nose: a weird, reddish sewage water trapped inside. But who were these 3 guys? Turns out they're likely Egyptian military heavyweights, and one of them took an arrow to the head. Talk about a warrior's demise. And there you have it, folks. The mysterious Black Tomb in Alexandria still holds many secrets. As we speak, the experts are digging deep to uncover the identity of these ancient warriors and their tale of valor. Thanks so much for joining us on this journey through history. Until next time, stay curious.